What am I doing camping in the middle of the Sonoran Desert?
Welcome to the 14th annual Rubber Tramp Rendezvous.
I have come to Quartzsite, Arizona, where a gathering of people who live on wheels is happening.
Come on into my home.
So I hope to find out why.
And this black tub back here is where I take a shower every single morning in this van.
Well, for me, it's great. This is more than what I need.
And there's a microphone over here if you want to ask a question.
This is the 14th annual Rubber Tramp Rendezvous.
So I started a website called
where thousands of full and part-time van, car, and bus dwellers come to meet, greet, and learn the tricks of making living on the road bearable.
Where do you sleep?
Behind the steering wheel.
Some of the people live this way out of desperation.
We cater to people who are in financial crises. And unfortunately, especially with women over 55, those that are in financial crises are predominantly women. Most of our vehicles are self-built, or they're what we call no-build builds, where people just take what they have in their home and they bring that little table, or they bring that old desk, or they lay a piece of plywood across a couple of end tables, and they call that a bed.
We were actually sick of staring at four walls and just sitting in the house and not going anywhere. We were outdoor people, and so the best thing for us mentally was to get out and enjoy life. Get outside, enjoy the great outdoors, and not just be stuck inside.
I call going out into the desert, away from everyone and everything, my sensory deprivation therapy. Absolute silence and nothing and no one else around. It's perfect.
So I keep learning. I love learning.
Most people I spoke with are doing it as a lifestyle choice.
I reached a certain age I should say, where the switch seemed to flip, that I didn't want to work anymore, and I just thought, I tapped in and I'm like, what do I really want to be doing? And it was a resounding, I want to be outside as much as possible in nature.
It's my pension. I can't afford both. I either have to live in the van or I live in an apartment and don't do anything. So the van was much more, for me, it was more freeing.
These are modern-day nomads.
So hi everyone, I am so glad that each and every one of you are here.
One of the RTR's founders is Bob Wells, who was instrumental in the story behind the Best Picture Oscar-winning movie Nomadland. He has a big fan club here, to say the least. This has grown so big that the Bureau of Land Management no longer can host.
Quartzsite's a real quirky little town.
The small town of Quartzsite becomes so jammed up in January as it hosts the RTR, rock shows, a gun show, and the Big Tent RV show that its 2,500 residents multiplies 100 times.
One trend I've seen at my park is the age has been coming down. So as people start to, especially in the pandemic, a lot of people started working from home, and so a lot of people went and bought RVs and trailers, and they've learned to work from wherever they are. So quite a few younger people. It's not just the 70 and 80-year-olds anymore.
I've been doing this for almost a year part-time, and I enjoy this part of it better than my regular 9-to-5 grind, which is actually 7 to 5. It's like a 9-hour day. So I'm considering selling my house and using that money to fund traveling and maybe get a part-time job. But I'm halfway to the point of having the house, 8 years away from having a house paid for. So I have a lot to consider.
It's the freedom to decide if I want to go or if I don't want to go. Or if I don't like a spot, I can leave. If I like a spot, I can stay. And it's a different view out my front window every single day.
The knock is when, in the middle of the night, when you're sound asleep, you hear this. Don't bark, it's just me. Anybody in there? You're not allowed to sleep here overnight. It's the cops knocking on your rig. So I feel very fortunate that I haven't had that, but I'm really careful too about where I camp.
And why do people always want to roam? Always seeking a temperate climate.
I don't have four walls that divide me from the cold of the outside, the warmth of the outside. That my home, if it's windy, it rocks. You know, it doesn't matter when I was in a sticks and bricks, a conventional home, how windy it was, it never rocked. So there really is a connection to nature. You know, I always know when a full moon is.
This was a design that I had early on, before I even had a van.
The people in homes vary greatly.
I just used what I already had in my house.
But the itch to keep moving is pretty common amongst all these nomads. As for me, I had fun, but I'll continue my sticks and bricks home port while seeking adventures around the world. While it's great to get away, it's always nice to come home.
All right, that was pretty fun. Good evening.